Hello everybody and welcome to another season of DTR Racing. This is season 7 and our opening round is Australia. Tonight we've got Havoc Connor with us. Welcome, Connor.
How are we doing, everybody?
And it looks like a wet quali-con. What's going to happen tonight then?
Oh, I think it's going to be a tasty one. I mean, obviously new season, relatively new game. It's only been out just over a month, so potentially a few drivers in tonight maybe not having tested rain conditions as much. So we'll just have to see what happens, I suppose.
Definitely could be spicy, especially if the race is wet as well. We've got Florian out first in the Williams. I am on board with him or her or they, you never know. But yeah, a few cars now coming out for their first runs. Inters seem to be the tyre of choice. If anybody is in stream, let us know whether the race is wet or dry as well. That would help. Give us some info, Connor. What can we expect?
So, a lap of Albert Park is just over 3 miles. You've got 14 corners. Not entirely sure on the right to left ratio, but you've got 4 DRS zones. The fourth one being added in for the 2022 race after the track being relayed and the removal of the chicane, going into turn 9 and 10. Obviously, as we can see with the rain, it's going to throw up some potential curveballs as people look to find the limit in how much of the curves they can use. And as to
speaking of limits, we've got Florian has invalidated his lap. The next car on the grid is an Alpha Tauri. But is it Benny? Or is it... I think it's Benny Bono.
Yeah, it's Benny Bono.
Benny Bono. So we're on his lap. Let's have a look at lap data. As he comes through sector 2, 51 seconds at the end of sector 2 there. Purple as well, but he is obviously the first driver, so that's nothing to look too deep into at the minute. We do have a few reserves tonight, not only from this division but the division below, so good to see how they can put themselves into the standings, and see how the drivers from the division below can race with what is technically the faster driver from here. We've got Benny just coming around that final corner, a little bit of a slip there. Does keep it on track though. It is clean-ish as it crosses the line with a 1:30.9, setting the standard for everybody else. And they'll start coming through now. There's Stewart as well with a 28.6. Schooner now second, with a 28.9. So very close so far. I think the little skid in the final corner there probably just pushed Benny over that over the edge of the 130s rather than being in the 120s like everybody else. We've got Huss currently third with a 29.5. Also joining him on a 29.5 is Lunatic Kai. Just as he goes on the stream, he does slide out of turn 2, damaging his wing. Good job he got his lap in first, but we do have a few more times coming through currently. Yeah, I mean, there's not even like we can make predictions at this minute because we don't know how good people are.
No, and also
that was dodgy, that Kai. Sorry there, Connor. Kai spun his car around as the Haas was coming around turn 1 and 2. That was a little bit questionable.
Oh dear. Next in just sliding into P2 there as well, with a 28.5.
Oh, nice, with a Maridako there taking pole with a 28.5 as well.
We've got next crossing the line. It's an AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri.
Benny again. Doesn't improve.
Well, we've got a Florian out. Turn 1, turn 2. I've missed it. Can we catch anybody? Oh, his car's disappeared just as I got to somebody. I got on the viewer's Avis and he disappears. I think it's just a slip on the curb of turn 2, or maybe turn 1 and into the outer wall. With a 129.3, I mean, he could still be in that top 10 technically. But I think people will improve there.
Got a Murkoff, not sure if he were. Yeah, Gouda just veering off track. I'm assuming to let someone through, but
that's all right. Gouda's doing his job all on his own with a 28.4 at the top. He may not need to go again, to be honest. But we will see. So yeah, into season 7 this time. Season 6 was, I mean, it was good all round for every single division. Obviously, I was in the bottom of D4 in a title challenge for once, but it wasn't to be. Now, D2 though, we have most of them are returning drivers to D2, including last year's champions, Connor.
Yeah, so we've got Nicky Lauda currently sitting 9th in the AlphaTauri, who is our current drivers champion for D2. And alongside him, we also have both of the current reigning constructors champions in Kazingal and Felix going for a 3-peat in the Aston Martin.
A 3-peat, I love it. So only 3 cars now not set a time. Both Alfa Romeos and the remaining Ferrari of Athanasio. Apologise if I say that wrong. I'm not very Greek. I am very English when it comes to saying foreign words. You know, I still say tortillas, even though they're not. But I'm on board now with the Ferrari driver, as he is head of Zavis, and obviously Ricker's on an out lap. So let's see what they can do. We've got Lauda there taking pole, or provisional pole, with a 28.1. 3 tenths separate him in second. Yeah, so he comes round the final corner. Still wet weather. I think the whole session's going to be wet. Good exit. Down the straight. He's on for a 129.3, and it's outside the top 10. That was almost pole before. Oh no, it wasn't. That was a 28, wasn't it? 29.3 for Athanasio. I think Zavis is next. Yeah, he's got in the penultimate corner. We do have a yellow there, Con. Is that just someone pulling to the side?
I'm assuming so.
He's lost the back end. He's kept it on track. Sorry, Connor, there. Oh, no, that was a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, just caught the end of that as he put it into the wall. But he's managed to set a time 30.8.
Yeah, he's not out. It's a 30.8, and I'm sure he can do better next time. We do have the final car of Ricker coming through sector 3, although he's very close to the AlphaTauri ahead. Is he on a fast lap though, that AlphaTauri?
It's the AlphaTauri and Nicky Lauda. I'm not sure if he is. No, he's diving into the pits. So
we'll move out of the way though.
Oh, very close to invalidating there.
There we go then. I wouldn't have said tidy, but it was a complete, and it's a 129.9. So that's all cars setting a time now. We had a couple picking up a bit of damage. We had Kai at the beginning, obviously, and just as we say that, Ricker loses his front wing through turn 2. Commentators curse he's starting early tonight. Just has to wait. Now he needs to go, otherwise it will disqualify him. Can he get out of the way of the Ferrari coming behind? He does need to. TGL Stewart there with a 27.9.
Yeah, just
out of the way, Alfa Romeo.
Just taking pole away from Athanasiou by just like exactly a 10th, actually.
Exactly 1/10. Yeah, you will never get a cleaner 10th at all. Now the thing with the wet tyres as well is that you can do more than one lap on them. In fact, it's better to do more than one fast lap on them.
Yeah, just
most of the time.
yeah, just to stay out. Well, fuel ups and stay out as long as you can. Just keep putting laps in, get repetition.
I think Athanasio, possibly on a fast lap, but has just blocked the Mercedes. He's now let him past, but that could well be a lap destroyed there by the Ferrari driver for Gunnar. It was in the Mercedes there, but he came up with a purple sector 2 on the track map for Gunnar. So I'm going to stay with him and just see how much he does actually improve through sector 3 and see if he can jump maybe into that top 5, top 3. There was Kai there, I think, jumping into P4 with a 128.1. Quite tidy from Gunnar as he comes through that tight section at the end. Yeah. Down the straight to make a 127.5. There it is, Gunnar in the Mercedes, and I think he was blocked as well, so that could well have been a much better lap. But I don't want to point fingers, but it did look a bit suspect. But we'll come away from that. Typhoon there jumping into second as well with a 27.7.
Yeah, track seemingly getting faster as the session goes on.
Well, it could well be the tyres. Gunnar's set that on 5-lap old tyres on the Inters. I mean, a couple of them obviously had to get new tyres, like Kai for damaging his wing. The Alfa Romeo Ricker as well with a full wing loss will have to go on fresh tyres. But like we say, you can do a couple of good laps on the used tyre on the Inter. It is better to do more than one lap. Anybody outperforming, you think, at the minute?
I mean, you'd argue Gunnar being a reserve.
You'd definitely argue Gunnar, yeah, being a D3 reserve, topping the pile. But is he the wet master? Is he the tyre whisperer of wet conditions?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I'm not really familiar with his game in the wet, so that could just be something that I'm missing. However, yeah, just looking through the grid, I'm trying to see if there's anyone potentially not quite hit where they're expecting yet. I think we mentioned Gunnar a second ago. By contrast, Hammers is potentially, well, definitely looking to get quicker. As Nels...
Yeah, I mean, the bottom 6 there, 15th to 20th, are all actual Division 2 drivers as far as I'm aware. So, you would expect generally for the lower division drivers to be, down there, or at least, in and about. Somebody could have a bad lap, obviously things can happen, but you would expect them to be down there, and what we've got at the minute is a D3 driver who's showing them how it's done.
Yeah, exactly. As Nels just commented, Gunnar is very quick in the wet, had a brilliant D3 Brazil last season.
Well, there we go then.
Not entirely sure I remember that too well. I think I exited stage left quite early from that
that
race.
Doesn't sound like you, Connor. That doesn't sound like you at all.
No, never.
Never with the penalties and never with the DNFs. I'm just going to mute a sec while I open a can. Carry on.
Not a problem. Just watching Huss warm up his tyres. So quick look through. Anyone? What's Reliot doing? Reliot just going through sector 2. As I've completely missed Nizak getting a 27.2. So
27.2, yeah, 3/10 separating top 2 now. Mr. Tetris putting his blocks firmly in place. A little Tetris joke for you there. As dad jokes come, I think that's one of the best I've ever said.
I wouldn't argue with that. And you're here all week.
I'm here all week. Try the veal. I mean, as a team, as a pair of a team, Alpine's looking very good.
Yeah.
And on the opposite end, the Alfa Romeo is looking like they may struggle. Do we know if the race is wet, Nell? If you want to throw that into chat for me. Um, I mean, what have we got? We've got the current constructors champions in 4th and 14th, with the latter being on an outlap now. So something to keep an eye on there. And who was the drivers' champion last season, Con? Did you say?
Nicky Lauda, currently in 10th on an outlap as well.
There we go then. So current drivers' champion in mid-table, and the current constructors' champions separated by 10 places. But is it less than a second? Let me see. It is just less than a second between those 10 spaces as well. So not a major gap. We're not looking at seconds. We're looking at a couple of tenths here and there. The two Alpha Tauris as well, 10th and 11th. They're looking pretty solid. I think Hammer's, he needs his hammer time now. He needs to put his foot down with a firm hand and sort his car out, pull himself off the bottom.
Yeah, as Athanasiou comes across. Up into
and it's the P1 and 2. Front row for Ferrari currently then. Time for other drivers to change that, but if only they could do that in real life.
We are checking.
What was that? That's a bold strategy, Cotton. I think we might see that from the Ferraris once again this season. We've got the McLaren of Lunatic Kai there, separating the Ferraris now. Can anybody catch Mr. Tetris? Currently in the pits, so not going to set another lap with only 37 seconds left of qualifying. Lots on a lap. 2 still remaining to get on their outlaps, or to get on a lap is the Red Bull of Typhoon and the Alpine of Foxy Stewart. Although he's going to make it. Typhoon is struggling around them final 2 corners with traffic, but it looks like he should just about get across the line as well. So every car except Pole Sitter now is out on track. Obviously Florian DNFing, Hammers. Can he get this improvement here? He's going to miss the next lap, so it has to be this or nothing. It's an improvement, but it's only up to 14th. Oh, and he takes pole. We're back to a front row of Ferraris. We've got a Haas next of Huss placing it in 4th. With a 127.5. We have a McLaren next.
Yeah, it's Kai up next across the line again. Can he improve?
As I say, McLaren, I'd just jump on with Zettervol there. He loses the back end, so that's probably not going to be an improvement there. Carry on, Connor, sorry.
Yeah, shame that as meanwhile on the other side of the McLaren garage, Kai's just split the Ferraris again. On board with Gunnar as he comes up to the line again. What can
Nicky Lauda as well, squeezing himself in between them Ferraris, so Ferrari's firmly out of that top row. Can anybody get a pole? Who's left?
Fox Stewart up to the line.
P5, 27.3.
One Stewart up to 5th.
Next. The next Stewart up to no improvement.
Not an improvement.
Same for Cousin Gull in the Aston Martin. Same for Typhoon in P10 as well. No improvement.
No, so a lot of people's final laps probably not quite going the way they hoped. So.
We have Melboy in chat saying potential wet 40% to dry race. So changing conditions in the opening race. This is what we like. It brings out lots of different strategies. It brings out lots of fun, but also lots of chaos. And who doesn't love chaos?
Absolutely.
Would you like to go down the list, or would you like me to do it?
I will happily do it. So on pole with a 27.115, we've got Athanasiou. Closely followed by Lunatic Kai. Last season's champ Nicky Lauda in 3rd. Mr. Tetris in the other Ferrari in 4th. Then Foxy Stewart in 5th. Next in 6th. Huss 7th. Gunnar 8th. Kazingle 9th. Typhoon 10th. And we've run out of time. because that took too long.
We got the top 10. They're the ones that matters.
Exactly.
No, but
Oh,
changing conditions, I tell you what, it doesn't matter where you start in changing conditions. Anything can happen, and the last runner could finish first. Oh, so here we go, just as we do load in.
Yeah, Typhoon in chat just letting us know that he had an invalidation at 7/10 down on his time, so
Ouch.
unfortunate.
Ouch. Very unfortunate. But as we've just said, anything can happen in changing conditions. It looks like a similar wet level, so inters to start. Temporarily, the formation lap will be on broadcast as well due to issues, unless that has changed last minute and we have not been notified. Typhoon has left the session.
Oh dear.
Please don't do that. The PS4 guys will have lots of problems. So, while we're waiting for it to load, Connor, do you have any I can't think of the word.
Predictions?
Predictions, there we go. I was thinking suggestions and I'm like, no, that's not the right word, you dozy get. So yeah, do you have any predictions for today?
I wouldn't be surprised if turn 2 catches more people out again and potentially causes a safety car. At least.
I am surprised that it's turn 2 been the issue and not the S-bend chicane.
Yeah, seemingly catching a lot less people out this year. In comparison,
yeah, I think that's what people practice though. I think that's the main. That's usually the main thing that DNFs people, isn't it? That corner there. So they've practiced that to nail it, and obviously they've pushed to the back of the mind that turn 1 and 2 is just as wobbly as it.
Yeah, and obviously it's probably the place where you'd expect to gain the most time as well if you can nail it. So obviously, and all the more reason to practice it, like you said.
Any predictions for the amount of DNFs we may get?
I dread to think.
I would say we probably get a minimum of 4.
I was just about to say nice round 5 as lights are out and
we are off. Good start by Athanasio. Kai keeping position as well. There's a wing come off at the back. There's about 4 cars in the wall there. Could we have our first DNF this close to the start? It looks like Felix Lapira is the biggest loser off the start, falling all the way to the back of the grid and losing his wing. I'd love to know
Kai's
what happened
round.
there. Nicky Lauda made it to the front. Oh, turn 3 is questionable at best.
Oh.
So Kai, who got into the lead out of turn 2, was round in turn 3, and there was a whole parking lot.
Yeah.
Sorry to go American there. I couldn't think of the word car park. I'm having a nightmare today, so I can have. But we have Nicky Lauda in first, retaining his drivers' championship by storm in race 1. Next and second, and Kazungal up to third as well. Big gain there. 6 positions gained. 8 places gained by Benny Bono as well. He is currently the biggest winner. Athanasio went from pole to 17th. So yeah, biggest loser there, I suppose, is the Ferrari driver, but plenty of time to bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely. As Kai goes wide again and loses a couple of positions, the AlphaTauri and Alpine managing to get through with Benny Bono and Stewart.
Yeah, top 3 separated by about half a second each. Maybe a little bit more, and then jumps up to 3.5 seconds ish to driver in 4th, but then a couple of tenths between each car then after that, so not too bad. Looks like 3 cars caught up in trouble, 4 cars caught up in trouble, 4 cars caught up in trouble on lap 1 then, all needing a new wing. We've got Maridacco, Lunatic Kai, Reliot, and obviously Felix Lapira, who has lost it straight off the grid. But yeah, front 3 firmly.
Can't hear
There will be
in-game
safety
audio.
cars though, won't there?
Hang on.
Is that just the cars driving? As we get a pass there from Stewart on Huss down the long straight. Obviously no DRS at the minute as well, so it's looking very nice for those cars. A little bit of a wobble there with Ricker just touching the back of Huss down the straight there. No damage caused, no time lost or anything like that, just a bit of a love tap as Ricker does get past him into the start of sector 3. Does take it wide though into that corner, and Huss regains position back up to 9th while Connor sorts out the sound aspects. I'll just talk myself into a coma. Nexton taking fastest lap there with 1:31 dead.
Javi sending it round the outside of a few cars and making his way up into the top 10. Hopefully the sound's a little bit louder.
Looks like Huss and Mr. Tetris losing or damaging at least their wings during that lap, both in the pits to get a wing change. But yeah, Nicky Lauda and Nexton firm, not running away with it. They're still, hovering around a second at P3 in Cousingle, but they seem to have lost him a little bit from the leading the leading trio, if you like. Let's go to
riding on board with Gunnar currently as he's chasing down Betty Bunner.
Zettervol there getting past Athanasio as well. And Typhoon, 2 in 1 lap. Very nice. We have a yellow in sector 2. Do we know what that was? Probably Kai.
Might have been Kai. Is there any chance you can get Typhoon back in?
I mean, I haven't got him, but I can search him. Is he PlayStation?
Yeah, Typhoon for real on PlayStation. As we will have a look at Athanasiu. Looking to get past Typhoon's AI as quickly as he can, I would imagine, and try and gain some positions back following the lap 1 incident.
There you go. Typhoon should have an invite. What did I miss? Well, there's Maridako with a new fastest lap.
Yeah, Zettervol right on the back of Hammers here. And
it's not been the best of pre-seasons for Hammers. I think he's been took out every single race.
Yeah, unfortunate, really unfortunate.
Really unfortunate. As we were saying in qualifying, Connor, the Alfa Romeo is struggling. 8th and 9th at lap 4.
Yeah, obviously big benefiters of the aforementioned carnage in on lap 1.
Yeah, I mean the bottom 6 have all been in the pits with Mr. Tetris having to go in twice as well. So he's going to be praying for a safety car at some point.
Zettervol going for
whichever.
the Hammers.
Just as one with Mr. Tetris as well, out of that S-bend there. Did he get damage from that? He looked like he hit it on the side. I'm trying to see the front of his car, but it doesn't look like there's any damage, just a lot of time lost. But he did just lose the back end out of the S and put it sideways into the wall. It doesn't look like any damage, but obviously light damage doesn't always show visually. I'm going to stay on with him and just see if he goes into the pits as he comes to the end of sector 3. And He hasn't. No, he stayed out. So no damage there for Mr. Tetris, but he is going to be praying to whichever his respective holy
Holy
cannoli
deity.
is. Yeah, holy deity is. He's going to be hands together and ready to call upon a favour.
Yeah.
With Stewart just picking up a penalty there.
Yeah. Oh, and Zetavol's gone madly.
Oh, he's gone straight. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate for Zetavol. He was having a great race. Just gone straight on at that corner.
Yeah, managed to safely thread it through the cars of Xavi and Hammers to avoid them both.
He has, however, lost the whole of his front wing. He did go
Yeah.
straight on far enough
Yeah.
frontally into a roll. So, but TGL Stewart in the pits for a wing change. I was going to say another wing change, but it's not another wing change for him. It's just another wing change in the race. And there is a virtual safety car. Is that for Zetavol, or is there something else we've missed? I think it's just for Zetavol.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen. But nothing else really happened. Say he did go straight on, and then obviously he was back on track for a couple of seconds slowly. So it may have just been that. But yeah, Niki Lauda, current D2 Drivers' Championship, out in front by just over a second to the next driver, cementing his place at, a possible 2 in a row. Next in P2, just about catching up. Obviously, that's going to be Nicky slowing down for a thing in theirs. It goes from bad to worse for Zetafall with a drive-through penalty there as it comes back to green. Mr. Tetris is just on his way out the pits again. He must have had another damage. Imagine having to pit 3 times.
We are reading chat, Typhoon. I'll put it in Discord.
So 2 drivers there got a drive through. We've got Zetavol and Felix having to take a drive through, take it early just in case a safety car comes out. Get in, get out, get back on the race. The only others with penalties is Xavi with 6 and TGL Stewart in the Alpine with 3. Nobody really fighting for position at the minute. I think Guna's the closest to the next car at Benny-Bunno.
Yeah, and then the fight for the lead not too far behind. Next in just 7/10 behind Niki Lauda as they go through sector 2.
Yeah, catching up to the back of Mr. Tetris as well, who's had to pit again.
Yeah, and as we alluded to earlier, Ricker and Xavi, the 2 Alfa Romeos, the biggest winners out of everything so far, 10 and 11 places respectively, going upwards.
Yeah, I mean, even as a team as well, you're looking at bottom 5 into then, both drivers in a top 10 finish. You've got to say that's a successful race.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
we're only 7 laps in, but yeah, Typhoon Friel has rejoined. Luckily for him, he's not even last. That's the way this race is going. Someone who's been kicked out from the very beginning is he's not even in last place.
No, it's a modern miracle, I suppose. But what's going on, Spaffis? Welcome on in, and a certain Mr. Rigby as well. Good evening to you, sir. Yeah, little bit disappointed. In Stu. I mean,
and there he is, first one of the season, lunatic guy with a DNF. That's not like him at all. Out of the final corner, he does bring out a safety car, and I tell you what, Mr. Tetris is going to be his best friend because he was so close to being lapped there. And once you're lapped in a race, that's it. It's game over. Safety car or not. So this is Mr. Tetris' chance now. Get yourself back in the pack. Get yourself back in the race. And let's go again.
Yeah,
Felix is going to pit.
But yeah, doing well, Spaffis. Hope you all this fine Tuesday evening. And yeah, Kai being Kai.
Kai being Kai.
Not really much more.
He had such a good qualifying as well. It was it was really unfortunate. Obviously, turn 3, lap 1 was also it's a car park basically, losing positions there. But after such a good qualifying, it's gut wrenching to see a driver out like that. But it wasn't going well.
No.
Nicky Lauda's going to come in for fresh tyres.
Yeah, Nexon and Kazingle staying out. So he's Benny Bono and Guna.
Yeah, and there goes the safety car now with Nexton catching up to it. So what have we seen so far? We've seen the Alfa Romeos have had, a race of their life. They've gone from bottom 5, both drivers, to both being in the top 10.
Yep.
Pole sitter was about to be lapped. It was Tetris on pole, wasn't it? Or was it?
It was just, yeah. Oh, no. I think Athanasi first. I think Mr. Tetris dropped to 4th.
Dropped to 4th. So, but it's still good enough. And then it's about to be lapped. So, that wasn't going well. We've seen Guna, current D3 driver, had provisional pole at one point, and is now currently in 4th.
Yeah, having a very
pole
good.
Pole sitters down to 8th.
Yeah, Guna having a very good session today.
He is. He's fantastic in the wet. I was going to say a bit of an offhand comment there, but I won't do that on an official stream.
Now save that for the After Dark stream.
Yeah, that's for co-op career only.
Yeah. Kai just put it in our chat. The Ferrari didn't stop spun me and gave me damage. I'm assuming he's referring to Mr. Tetris, because he was the one having to pit on lap 1, I think, or were it Athanasius?
Well, no, because he was. It depends on when he's talking about. Is he talking about his DNF, or is he talking about early on? That's the question there, because you don't have to brake hard around that corner. It's basically it's not a full throttle because you'll spin it, but
he's talking about lap 1.
Lap 1, right, okay. Yeah, well, that happens at turn 3, doesn't it? It's a tough braking zone, and if you're a 10th late, that's it. You're over the mark.
Yeah, even less of a margin for error at wet, obviously.
Opening lap is everybody together, so very little margin of error there. You've got wet conditions, so even then, brake even earlier. But yeah, it is what it is. It wasn't turn 3 that ruined the McLaren's race. It was obviously, putting himself in a wall. There we go then. I think it's still too much of a gap for it to go in this lap, so we're going to get one more lap, I feel, of the safety car.
Yes. Yeah, just waiting for the stragglers of Reliot, Felix, and Mr. Tetris to catch up. As far as we're aware, Sport, it's supposed to dry up at some point.
Yeah, well, it was possible changing conditions, wasn't it? So
yeah,
we'll see how we get on. One more lap of the safety car. How prepared are you for your race, Connor?
I'd like to say very, considering how much racing we've done over the last month or so on all tracks, just for the season in general. But as for Thursday, it's tough to judge. Obviously, there's a few people I'm aware of the pace and how good they are, but we've obviously got a few new drivers in D4 as well, so it's tough to gauge. I mean, in my own abilities, as if I can keep penalties down, I think I'll have a decent time of it.
But that's key for you. Keeping within the track limits is probably your only downfall.
Yeah. I mean, we've alluded to our co-op career, and that's been my downfall at many a race. In that so far. But yeah, confident in the track, less confident in whether I can keep penalties down. But what about you, quickly, as the safety car is on its way in?
Yeah, we have next to going to slow the pack down as the safety car comes in. I think for me, if it's dry, maybe some small points. I think it's going to depend on the amount of DNFs. Obviously, with the promotion from Division 4 to 3, I don't know where I sit. I feel like my time trial time is quite good, especially compared to last year. But that doesn't always cross over into race conditions. So it's just a matter of time will tell. And hopefully it's dry, because I know I'll have a better time if it is. And just as we say that, the safety car is in the pit lane. We are going to wait for Nexton to go. And is he gone? He has gone. There we go.
He's gone.
That was tough to tell. That it looked a bit slow of a start, but he's gone. Everybody's kind of kept with him. There was nobody losing out there. I think maybe Hammers is over a second, and that was just as we say his name, he gets a 3-second penalty. But the rest all kept within a few tenths. Let's keep on that. Turn 3 looks very tidy for the front runners. A little side by side there for Stewart and Hammers, kept clean. But we do have now a yellow.
Yeah,
the car off track.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo got spun from behind there. Not quite sure who
half
it was.
Of the car off track. Maridacco dropped all the way to the back. Xavi there looks like he had to give position back. I don't know what that was all about, but he did pull over to the side, so now he's back at the back. Mr. Tetris has made up a few positions on the restart alongside Felix in now 15th and 16th. Ricker and Athanasio trading places as they are now side by side through the S, very closely followed by Huss and Florian. Florian as well, special mention, up to 12th from DNFing in qualifying. Nice little side by side there through as well. He passed the Ferrari, just squeezes past the Haas. Can he keep position? It looks like he's going to. And up to 10th.
Yeah,
beautiful bit of driving.
Yeah, a little bit of contact, but knowing where the limit was and managing to keep it relatively clean as we look at Nicky Lauda, who thought about a move on Kazingle around the outside potentially, but backed out of it, saving it for another time.
Yeah, I saw the little pull out there, little pull out manoeuvre, no pun intended, to have a quick look, but it wasn't on. It wasn't on. Florian there as well, just deciding out of sending it into turn 3, keeping it behind Ricker in the end. Penalty starting to mount up now. We've got Stewart on 6, Hammers on 3, Zetterval is on 9, Maridacco on 9, Xavi on 6, and as we're talking about them, there goes Guna with his first as well of the evening,
no,
with a 3-second. We saw 2 there in one on a straight. Benny Bunno and TGL Stewart there coming together.
Yeah,
and that's another full safety. Did you catch?
I did.
What happened there?
I was actually riding on board with Stuart there as they both went through sector 2, and Benny's just got caught on Stuart's front wheel, and it's spun them both to the left, and they both hit the wall.
Ouch. Ouch. Tough one, especially on a straight as well. You know, there's plenty of space. I mean, I know it's not a straight line, but it's wide enough to be a straight. Technically, there is a DRS zone as well in the dry, so you know even the track technically sees it as a straight, if you like. So yeah, a bit of a silly collision, I think, is the only way to do that, because there's a lot of room there. It is basically a straight, and you know that didn't need to happen. And we have half the grid jumping in the pits by the looks of it, getting on another set of inters. Oh, who's going to get that position there? Hammers and another driver coming up. Was it Hammers? Must have been Hammers. Yeah, Hammers and another driver coming out at exactly the same time. Both just in each other's space. Didn't know who was going to get it. I think Huss got the position in the end. I'm sure it was the half that came out at the same time, but that was questionable by the mechanics. So, Niki Lauda back in the lead. Okay, I'll carry on. Stuart in second, Gunnar in third, and Ricker in the Alfa Romeo up to fourth now. Good race so far from Ricker. Florian, as we mentioned earlier, in fifth. Felix up to sixth as well, and Mr. Tetris, who was very far at the back and almost lapped at the start of the last safety car, is up to seventh. So, I mean, obviously we've just seen people pit, so it's not necessarily on track, but he is seventh nonetheless. Nexton must have been the first of the pitters in eighth because of the ninth, and Huss rounds out the top 10. So, predictions on dry weather, Connor. How many more laps are we doing in the wet?
To be honest, it doesn't.
I've not seen any changes so far.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't know if it's just me, but it doesn't seem to have. The rain doesn't seem to have let up, so I'm wondering if it's going to be a full wet race.
It could well be a full wet, or maybe just a shootout at the end with maybe 4 or 5 laps to go. But it can change very quickly. We know what the F1 games are like. It can be, you know, a dry line at the start of safety car, and then by the time it's gone in 2 laps later, it's perfectly bone.
Okay, so we've had an update. We've had an update from Typhoon in chat. It says clearing up in 10 minutes. So
yeah, but I mean, how many times does Mark say that? Clearing up in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, it's clearing up in 15 minutes. So
well, yeah, true. It's hard. It's definitely difficult to trust what Mark says, but sometimes he's right, sometimes he's not. We'll just have to see how this plays out, like everyone else.
Yeah, time will tell. The settings as well for the lobby as well, I think, aren't set to perfect forecast. So it could well be 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And then, like I say, all of a sudden you've got a 5-lap shootout on soft tyres. So we could get a bit of fun towards the end. Well, it looks like everybody's together. Are we coming in this lap? We could. It's not, though. I don't know why it's not. That's poor. Oh, looks very slow at the back there with the Williams, Haas and Alfa Romeo backing off a little bit. Oh, that's a very late call. The safety car is going in this lap, halfway through Sector 3 there. And we've got Niki Lauda this time backing everybody up, letting the safety car go in and giving us the restart. That was a bold decision there from the safety car to just go, yeah, go on then. It's not quite in yet. I think he's going to struggle to go, but it could cause issues. It's in enough. They've gone. Everything looks clean on the restart, which is nice. Nice straight line. Turn 1 and 2. Got a beautiful helicopter shot there. Yeah, I mean, everybody's at a decent enough distance, to be honest, to not have to cause any issues. Oh, a little side by side there, Ferrari and McLaren.
Because England...
The Ferrari losing out another place there as well to the Red Bull.
Yeah,
is that another penalty for Kazingle?
No, because England next thing getting into it and forcing each other off track.
Oh, we've got a Red Bull gone straight.
Yeah, it's Typhoon.
Typhoon straight on there.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and he's lost it again. You have to cool down your tyres, pal. He'll get back on track, but that's a lot of time lost. And then he's got a pit as well. But anything can happen. We've still got time for another safety car. Do not leave the race. You will be scolded by the bosses. Zettervold getting past Hammers there as well. Very clean, very tidy.
I think I see you picking up a 3-second penalty.
There is only 2 drivers in the top 10 with penalties, though, and that will play a part at the end of this, especially if 1, we get any more safety cars, but 2, it goes dry.
Yeah, 100%.
Could well make a big change. Very close at the front between Nick Lauda and Stewart. 3/10 separating the 2 drivers. Guna then in 3rd, 2.2 behind with a 3-second penalty. Ricker up to 4th. He's quietly sort of creeped his way through the grid, hasn't he, Ricker?
He has, yeah. Obviously, one of the drivers that was starting at the back or close to the back, and
we've got Felix. Lost his front wing there as well, whole wing gone, and he's going to lose plenty of positions as well. Just pull to the side and don't fight it. He's not stupid. He might be French, but he's not stupid. He knows what to do. That's just a joke, ladies and gentlemen. We don't discriminate. Although he has just gone on the grass and cut the whole corner. I think it was probably just easier as the other cars fight through that S sector. He's not going to be able to brake and keep it on track in time and things. He's going to get a penalty if he keeps cutting corners like that. Has Typhoon been in yet for a new win? Yeah. So by the time Felix comes back out, Typhoon should be close by.
Yeah, Felix only just making it into the pit, so could potentially be within a few seconds.
Very close into this turn 3 there. Ferrari having a look, and he's spun the Haas. That's all on the Ferrari there, we've got to say. I don't know if it was late brake or missed brake or just went for the send, but it didn't need to happen like that. That's another thing we've seen there. Second thing, it didn't need to happen like that. Spun the Haas. Yeah. It's damaged another car as well, I think I saw.
The Williams of Florian got caught up in that as well.
Florian got caught. It doesn't look like he's lost his wing though. He's lost an end plate.
Potentially might have done.
It doesn't look like it actually. It still looks tidy. We'll have to just keep an eye on whether he has to pit or not. But it's more disappointing than anything because it didn't need to be like that. Obviously, we make mistakes, of course we are. We're only human, but it was still. It didn't. Do you know what I mean? It didn't need to. Zettervold going off track, coming back on just in front of the Haas of Hust. Needs to cool them tyres down again. 18 seconds for Nexton there, so it looks like he's totally dodged a corner and got a 10-second penalty possibly. Unless he's just having an awful time with them 3 seconds.
Listen, Rigby, I'm not the one racing here.
Zettervold, the only one to come into the pits then. For a new wing, that must be just be well he went off track. So nothing lost for the Williams driver of Florian or the Ferrari or the Haas that got caught up in the accident. But yeah, just I don't know. Like when you're watching something, you just really want something to go well and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit like that. Oh, Typhoon has spun it. Is that wheel off?
Yeah, that
looks
wheel's
like
off.
wheel
He's
off,
out.
but it hasn't. Yeah, but it's not come up as a DNF. There we go.
No, it has.
There you go. That was a bit slow. That's why I couldn't tell if it was off or not. But I was just like,
oh, Felix
with another drive-through. That's his second one tonight. And he can't do it until the safety car's gone in either. So he's going to end up 18 seconds behind everybody else after the restart.
Yeah. So what are we on currently? 3 safety cars?
This is the third safety car and we've had a VSC. Anybody pitting? Guna's going to jump in. Doesn't look like that rain's disappearing anytime soon either.
And a nice round 4 DNFs currently.
Oh, somebody said 4. Although we've got 9 laps yet, so we could have a few more.
Yeah.
Oh, is that another drive? Is that a double drive through for Felix?
Yeah.
Felix, man, there's a yellow flag out. Oh, holy Jesus. Ricker, though, podium positions. And penalty free. He has been the silent assassin of this race. He's kept it quiet, he's kept it clean, and he's slowly got himself through the grid. And now what could be, from a very disappointing qualifying, I'm sure, from his point of view, could well be a podium finish.
Yeah, very much so.
Maridako currently with the fastest lap of a 29.8. Let's have a look. Mexton's obviously on the freshest laps as he pitted. Zetterval and Felix have also pit, but Felix is, I don't know, I don't want to say out of the race, but he's got 2 drive-throughs, so I've got to say out of the race.
Yeah, I mean...
Not a good start from the Constructors' Champion.
No, not at all. Well, Kazingle, on the other hand, is...
P4, showing him how it's done.
Yeah, holding up his end of the deal.
It's Alonso versus Stroll, technically, isn't it? Kazingle versus Felix.
Instead of all picking
he's gone off against that ball. Has he gone off again? He's gone off again, then. Same corner. Oh, he's facing the wrong way. Oh, he's not on track. Oh, thank God for that. I saw his arrow facing into track and the car coming at him. No wing loss this time, though. I suppose his only great unfortune is that Felix has got the drive-through on the restart, so... Although he has got 12 seconds himself, so it's not... it's not brilliant.
Yeah, so current penalties, we've got Hammers, Florian, Athanasiu Guna with 3, we've got Xavi with 6, Maridako with 9, Zetterval with 12, Nexton with 18, and as we mentioned a second ago, Felix with a double drive-through.
Double drive-through, that is a...
Oh, and Reliot with 5 seconds. Didn't quite spot that in the middle of them all.
I was going to say it was a bit of a speeding in the pits, I think, that one. For 5 seconds. It could well be in a touch under safety car. I don't know when he pit, to be honest. I don't think he's pit again, so it might well have been a touch under safety.
So we've got...
But shame for the Williams driver, though. He's doing well.
So we've got the top 5, Florian, Athanasiu and Guna all on one stop. We've got Hussein Nexton on 2. We've got Maridako, Relia, and Zetavol on 3, and Tetris and Pirate are on 4.
Wow. Well, safety car is in again, third time. Lucky, hopefully, for the drivers. There is 8 laps left to go. Top 4, no penalties in the top 4. Can Ricker hold position? Florian as well. I know he's got the 3 second, but everyone around him has got bigger penalties. He DNF'd in quali. We are off again. Front 2 getting away nicely. Little gap to Ricker then, but Cousingull is right up his exhaust. Just pick your moments, that's all it's about. Up the inside there, out of turn 2. Can he get the move done into turn 3? It's going to be the late breakers. Oh, squeeze, no touch. Nope, slight touch. Ricker stays ahead. Tight, but clean. Oh, it's not looking good for Nexton, is it? 21 seconds there now. He's got 21 seconds to go.
Lovely niche reference there.
Well, you know what I'm like.
No, I can't.
I'm like a coffee filter with a hole in it.
Cousingull really putting the pressure on Ricker for a podium position.
Yeah, less than a tenth there. Looks like almost a side-by-side. He's going to have the line in there. The wheels are locked. No, pulled out of it. Hammers gets through as well. Ricker drops 2 places in one corner. 3 places in one corner with Maridako taking that. However, 2 of those drivers have penalties. So, not too bad for Ricker. He just needs to stay with them. Very good race so far from him and Florian behind him. Reliot just getting past as we mention him. The front 2, I think, barring any incidents, just to say that, another safety car it looks like. And it's Huss, final corner.
Yeah, final corner's claimed him. I don't know whether that was a...
Does that drive-through count now for Felix? I should think so, because he went in before it came out.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But he did have a double. So, time will tell, but we are once again under safety car conditions.
So obviously he's still got a drive-through because he had a double, but we'll find out, I assume, if... Well, he'll have to obviously go in again.
Well, the best thing to do is go in at when the safety car comes in, and then it's done. It's out of the way. You know, just in case the safety car comes out again, you don't want to get disqualified for not taking it. Safety car now is going to be out for at least 2 laps. So he's going to have to go straight in and just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And this must be really frustrating for the front runners. You know, Nicky and Stewart really, they put the foot down quite well on the restart. You know, there was a good 1.5 gap, I think, they made. With it getting bigger, and then it's like a stop-start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for Mr. Tetris, because 5 drivers ahead of him all have penalties.
Yeah, if he stays within 9 seconds of Maridako as well, that's another one.
Yeah. You know, and from the start, Tetris was about to be lapped in, what was it, lap 4? 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
A couple of people going in the pits there, so that brings him up even further. He's now in 8th, technically. Teammate ahead of him with a 3 second, and the Alfa Romeo ahead of him with a 6. Like you say, Maridako, 9 seconds there. That's a big chunk of time as well. So yeah. But yeah, it must be frustrating for the front runners at least.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because the main thing you want to do, especially in wet conditions, is try and get into a rhythm, and just drive and obviously keep keep all four wheels on track and just get into a rhythm of where you need to brake, etc. to make the corners and obviously not put yourself in any danger. And with so many safety cars coming out every few laps, it's hard to get into that rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, I will openly admit I'm not the greatest at the game, but that's what someone like me needs. I need that rhythm even in the dry conditions.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I need lap after lap, make sure I'm hitting the corners, make sure I'm hitting the braking zones. So when it does come to wet there, I need it uninterrupted. I need full focus. And if it's stop-start like this, it's not only frustrating for the front drivers, it's the ones that are, just trying to get into that rhythm of keeping it on track, keeping it clean, and you'll finish where you finish, especially when you're looking around the grid with, you say you're Kizungle there, trying to get into a rhythm. You see Felix behind you's got a drive through. Next in ahead is you've got 21 seconds. Athanasiou's got 3 seconds, and you think, right, all I have to do is keep up with him. And then it's like another stop and another stop. So yeah, it's key in dry conditions to get that rhythm flowing, but tenfold in the wet to try and get that. So I suppose it's frustrating for everybody, but more so for the front runners that are just trying to, that have kept it clean and are there on position, on merit, and then have to keep being brought back to the grid because things are happening at the back.
Yeah, and alongside not being able to get into that rhythm, there's also a potential danger then of drivers from behind trying to look.
Yeah, that's it's one thing that would frustrate me. I think not the drivers with penalties have to be clever about their moves, because yes, they want to get ahead and they want to make that 3 seconds or 9 seconds or whatever to the next car, but everybody wants to win a race. It's why we race, isn't it? Nobody's sitting on the grid going, oh, I'm happy we finishing last. Do you know what I mean? Everybody wants to win, of course they do. So it's taking that chance there as well. But also being brought back, it's not even somebody taking the chance. It's again somebody missing a braking zone, and you could be in fifth and miss your braking zone and hit the person in second and get caught up with the third and fourth hitting the 2 cars then that have collided, and you've got 4 people out of the race. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit of that, but we are now on a restart. We have Niki Lauda again in the AlphaTauri, backing up the pack, waiting for the safety car to go in. It doesn't look like it's raining anymore, Connor, on my screen. It looks wet, but it doesn't look like it's raining anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's like on yours.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything on mine either. I wouldn't say it's worth a gamble going on slicks, because I don't think it'll dry up quick enough. So I think we'll be like this until the end of the race.
Hammers and Stewart now side by side through that turn 3. Hammers he's lost his back end. Maridacco does touch him as well. I wonder if he's got damage. If you want to check that, he's currently still facing the wrong way. He needs to get round. That's such a.
Hammers has been disqualified.
As we just said, yes, facing the wrong way. So his pre-season goes from. It's just followed over into the race, hasn't it? He's late on now. So we're on the 26th lap. He was in third. He was side by side. He loses the back end. Somebody taps him, and then he's sat there waiting for traffic, and race over. Disqualification. So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But again, really... if there wasn't safety cars and things like that, he probably wouldn't have had that. Maridacco has somehow got 18 seconds.
I'm wondering if he got anything for tapping Hammers.
I saw him get 3 after the incident, but he was on 9, so he's had 9 seconds out of somewhere. He is going to jump into the pits now, though. He must have got damage. I mean, at this point in time, I would just kind of deal with it unless you lost your wing. You'd probably lose less positions, but...
Yeah, Stewart's made a good point here. Back half have all gone on slicks.
I missed that. I haven't got the tyres up.
So everyone,
Oh, yeah.
Everyone that went into pit during that last safety car will come out on slicks.
Right then, race is on. It's Inters versus slicks then. I think personally the Inter's still the best tyre. The front six is gaining the time on Cousingle, who is the leader of the slick tyres. That's jumped from 1 second to 1.9 while I've been on the screen. So I don't know. I don't think it was the right time.
No, I think
it was just too late to change.
Yeah, I think to make the slicks work, they needed a few more laps. I don't think it's going to dry up quick enough for them to have a massive effect.
Next, and getting past Ricker, that's not going to make too much thingy over the line with the penalties.
No, Rally at
currently, I mean, it was worth a gamble for the back runners, of course. But as you can see, the fastest lap now are the people that are still on the Inters.
Yeah,
Cousingle though catching Athanasio like a dog on heat or something. I don't know. There was a yellow at Felix then. I was just seeing what that was. Oh no, where is he? I don't know what's going on there. There seems to be a yellow popping up for Felix every couple of seconds.
Maybe just going slow.
I don't know. Anyway, back at the front.
Yeah, Stuart just keeping the gap to Nicky. Just over half a second. Been that way pretty much.
Do you think Stuart is sat in second thinking, yeah, I'm happy with second? Or do you think he wants to go for that first? I know I've just said like people aren't happy obviously sat at the back, but is it worth it to go for it with 1 lap left?
I think first race of the season, I don't think there's any point in risking it. I think 8 to 18 points is a good. Oh, he's tapped Nicky.
Oh, and as we say it, Nicky Lauda, did he tap him or did he lose his back end?
No,
I know there was a tap. Oh no! As he comes back on, the Alfa Romeo gets caught up, and the Ferrari behind has gone behind as well. After Nastio's out, 5-second penalty there for Nicky Lauda as well. Just coming into the final lap, and it's all gone wrong for the AlphaTauri driver. And as we say it, Stewart is now in the lead.
But no, I was on board with Stewart just watching that gap, and it did seem as though he tapped him. Obviously, it might look different on different drivers' POVs, but unfortunately, it did look like he tapped him as next to the next driver, should I say.
Nexton, with 21 seconds of penalties, I think falls all the way back to 11th.
11th, yeah.
Even with the others' penalties, obviously Maridacco is on 18 anyway, and in 12th.
Yeah, Relly.
The current podium sitters are Stuart, Tetris after his awful start as well,
and Relia, maybe.
Relia is just Relia's not in it. Gunnar and Cousingle have only got 3 seconds. Relia is 2.5 from Nicky, who is then 1.8 from Zettervall. Yeah. Well, that's it. Race over. I mean, I wasn't on the stream. I don't know if Connor caught it on stream, but that was just a strange end. So we got a bit caught up in that. Stewart takes home the win of the first win of the season. of race 1. Mr. Tetris, after his god-awful start, brings it home in P2. Absolute amazing drive. Guna from D3, taking home a podium in D2. What a drive he had. Kuzengal P4, running it for the Aston Martins. Relliot into 5th. Nicky Lauda, unfortunate end there, but 6th. Oh, he's left the session and DNF'd. Well, it said he was 6th, and then it's just thrown him into a DNF into 12th. So I don't actually know what's gone on there.
Yeah,
because Felix hasn't
weird.
finished. So, well, Felix hasn't finished. So if he's,
will it classify him as P12?
This is the thing. So it depends on where it classifies him. But
I think it has just classified him as P12.
We'll have to figure out what happens there then. So Florian takes P6 as well. So good drive from the back for the Williams driver. DNF'd in qualifying, up to 6th in the race. Kept it quiet. Yeah, it was just a weird end. Sorry, we got a bit caught up in that. I don't know what the stream caught at the end there in terms of the finishing order.
Yeah, so we mainly caught the incident between Stewart and Nicky, and then after that, you were pretty much just following random drivers about and not really catching much of what happened behind.
It threw us off. So the dry tyre in the end did get the fastest lap with a 26.8. Obviously, still the ground was wet, but Maridaco, well, he wouldn't take that point because he's outside the top 10, wasn't he? So
yeah,
but he did get the fastest lap in the end. So the rundown then is Stewart bringing home the first win of the season. Congratulations to the Alpine driver. Mr. Tetris 2nd, Guna 3rd, Kuzengal 4th, Relliot 5th, Florian in 6th, Nexton 7th, the McLaren of Zetterval in 8th, Ricker came 9th in the end, Xavier 10th, Maridaco 11th, Felix 12th, Nicky Lauda somehow DNF'd after the line and it's dropped him down to 13th. Athanasio DNF'd just before the last lap, but will be counted as 14th. And then we have Huss, Typhoon, TGL Stewart, Benny Bono, Lunatic Kai all DNFing, with Hammers being disqualified for facing the wrong way on lap 26. Connor, driver of the day for you?
Yeah, I'd give it to Guna. He's as we've mentioned multiple times during stream, a D3 driver reserving in D2 tonight, and he's smashed it. I'd provisional pole for a while during qualifying, and he's kept it relatively clean and reaped the benefits from it.
Yeah, Gunnar showing real quality. We'll chat after stream to make a final decision, but I was edging more towards Ricker or Florian. Not having very good qualifyings. Obviously, Florian DNF'd, Ricker sitting at the back, but then to finish in the points as well, kept it quiet, just made their way through. Both very good drives from the drivers. So I would give it to I'm probably teetering between them, maybe Florian for finishing higher, but I think we did mention Ricker more during the race. But we'll have a chat off stream to make one final decision, obviously, for the return of driver of the week this season as well. But yeah, that was the opening race for Delta T Racing. Sorry, I'm trying to get the whole thing out there, but my brain wanted to say DTR. For Australia, we have Division 1 and 3 tomorrow, with Division 4 on Thursday. Yeah, what a race, what an opener. Bit of a messy final lap though. That's all we can say, just a bit of a messy final lap.
Yeah, definitely chaos as was potentially predicted going into what was a chaotic race. You can't really
well, I said 4
DNFs,
DNFs, you said 5, and I think we had 5 and a disqualification, or maybe 6 and a disqualification, but we had about that, so we weren't far off. But yeah, cracking opener. Keep with us during the week to see the other divisions, and myself and Connor will see you next Tuesday at the same time. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining me as well, Connor.
No, yeah, not a problem. Catch you all next week.
See you later.